So are black people their own worst enemy? I'm gonna attempt to answer this question, and I will answer this question today. I don't know how many people I'm gonna be getting in here, but whoever comes in, that's what the topic is going to be today. Are black people their own worst enemy? You hear this term thrown around and used a lot today, especially on social media. A lot of black people are running with the narrative that we're our own worst enemy, and I beg to differ. That's not true. The greatest threat to African people on a global scale is the system of racism, white supremacy. You know, and I have some notes I'm gonna be reading from one of our great master teachers, John Henry Clark. Um, he said, "We're a nation within a nation searching for a nationality." Quote by Dr. John Henry Clark. Also, the greatest achievement of the European on the peoples of African descent was the conquest of the mind. But let's stop running with this narrative, people, that black people are our own worst enemy, because you hear that a lot. And in history, whenever we as black people put something together and create a movement or anything of that nature, is sabotaged by the system of racism, white supremacy. You can see this with our black towns we have, such as Rosewood, Black Wall Street. Whenever we get something together, they'll send a coon or a sellout in there to infiltrate it and ultimately bring it down to get us to turn on one another, and the coons and sellouts was detrimental to the black community as well, because some people carry so much of a self-hate toward their brother, they hate what looks like them, that they're detrimental to the community as well. We got to stop running with this narrative, though, that black people are our own worst enemies, because we're not. I'm going to read some more from Dr. John Henry Clark. Through the conquest of the mind, a minority convinced us that we were a minority. See, they only a small group of people, and they convinced everyone that they were the minority to take over and perpetuate this system of racism, white supremacy. Now we got to start learning to stick together, you know what I mean, in our communities as well. We got stores and everything in the community, and none of it's most of it isn't even benefiting black people. We got Asian stores in the community, Arab stores in the community. Now, if you go to their community, I bet you won't even make a sale if you had a store. We got to start learning to have confidence and belief in ourselves and the products and doing business with our own and what we selling and producing, And that's another thing John Henry Clark says we lack. He goes on to say we lack a self-confidence. If you go to the Middle East or to China and set up a store, you won't get anyone to patronize it. But why are they in our communities being able to set up shop, do businesses, and we support them? We lack self-confidence. And he also went on to say in this particular lecture that, a sister came up to him and asked him for directions to get to such and such place. He gave her the directions, factual, true information. She didn't believe it. So she went to a white person to get the same information. He just shook his head because that showed that there's a lack of self-confidence and belief in oneself. And that's one of our enemies too, the hate that we have towards one another and a lack of self-confidence. Sometimes our people don't want our people to succeed. We rather someone else to succeed than to see one of our own succeed. The crab in the bucket mentality. If I can't get out, you ain't getting out of here either. But the greatest threat to black people on a global level is the system of racism, white supremacy. It's not our own. And we got to stop letting people run with that narrative that they're trying to push by saying that. Because whenever we come together and try to get something together, get something done for ourselves, it's always they send an infiltrator or, they find some kind of way to sabotage it. And they want us to think that we're our own worst enemy. It's perpetuated in the media and everything. It's shown. Even Dr. Henry Clark said they show you things, for you to not want to be around your brothers, show you like stay away from your own people, basically. And you can see it in the media, perpetuated for you to stay away from your own. But we got to recognize that our own people ain't our worst enemy. That's the way it's shown. But every group of people have their problems. You go to white people got their problems. Every group of people got their problems. Why is it that they want to perpetuate black on black crime when that's, yeah, we got black on black crime, but they got white on white crime. You think those white businessmen and things that sit up in them offices, don't go back and forth with each other, have their beef? You think white people don't harm white people? It's not just blacks, but the greatest threat to black people on a global level is the system of racism, white supremacy, because they're controlling resources and everything. And we got to get our own resources and start doing business with our own. Learn how to, want for your brother what you want for yourself. I'm going to read some more from Dr. John Henry Clark, notes I took. The greatest achievement, again, of the European was the conquest of the mind. And once we liberate our mind from dependency, we can liberate our people. See, the European got you buying into your own self-destruction. I'm even going to do something about this in the future with the 50th anniversary of rap. I'm going to probably do a live stream on that. And forgive me if I'm everywhere, people. This is only like my third live stream. I'm still getting used to it, learning the ropes. But yeah, he got you buying into your own demise through the rap music and the conquest of the mind. He got you not even wanting some people to be around black people. They rather be around every other people but black people. And I see this in my day-to-day life. For instance, like somebody at work will ask me a question, a black person that asks me a question, and I give them the answer. They go to someone of another culture, how Dr. John Henry Clark was saying, to get the information. When, my information ain't good enough, what I'm telling you ain't good enough, I'm giving you factual information. Why you got to go outside of self to find something, But yeah, we need to start breaking away from this plantation-based mindset of thinking that the system of racism, white supremacy has us locked in. We're not our own worst enemy. We got to get away from that narrative. And also, John Henry Clark went on to say, the European made you believe that you needed to be ruled over because you couldn't do it for yourself. And we don't need anyone to rule over us. We kings, gods, and queens, We got to start waking up and doing for self and supporting your own. You see someone got a business, as long as they, are doing legit business, giving a good product, especially if it's black owned, try to support that. You get some people, they see a black owned business and don't want to support it, but they'll go to Walmart and give them their money, these big wig companies that care nothing about you. So yeah, we're not our own worst enemy though. We got to stop running with this narrative. And I see it all the time. They want to speak on black crime, but what about white on white crime? What about Asian on Asian crime? It's crime everywhere. You will never stop that, but they just amplify when it comes to us. And I hate to see that. And then I hate to see, some of our people run with that narrative. And this thing is even being taught to the kids that we are our own worst enemy. We got problems like every culture and everything does, but we're not our own worst enemy. We got to wake up and really realize that the system of racism, white supremacy is the enemy, and start finding ways to liberate and free the mind and, to start doing for ourselves and supporting our own. We see someone got a business, go support it. Spend a couple dollars. As long as they offering a good product, don't automatically, run from it because it's someone that look like you or think they out to hurt or scam you or something like that. Some of our people have that in their minds that, black people don't do good business, and this just simply isn't true. So yeah, I just tapped in for a little live stream. I'm gonna get better as time goes on. Like I said, I'm just getting used to the ropes and things like that. So people, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe to my channel. It'll be more great content to come. I'm thinking about doing something too for the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I'm thinking about calling it has rap what has rap done for the black community? Were we better before rap? Because I think we were, you know what I mean? Because rap has been infiltrated. It started out as a good thing, but you know, once they got a hold of it and it was taken from the culture, it was turned on the culture. So I'm thinking about doing a live stream on that aspect. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace.